Hello, and welcome back to another installment in the SCP series. Today, I will be discussing SCP-14145. Let's get right into it. SCP-14145. Object Class: Euclid. Special Containment Procedures Required. SCP-14145 is to be contained in a standard, soundproof humanoid containment cell at site, redacted. The cell must be equipped with external sound dampening materials, internal audio scrubbing equipment, a two-way intercom system, and be monitored via closed-circuit cameras at all times. Personnel interacting with SCP-14145 must undergo psychological evaluation before and after contact. Any instances of SCP-14145/1 are to be reported immediately to Site, Redacted Command. Anomaly Description: SCP-14145 is a humanoid entity, approximately 2.4 meters in height, 560 kilograms in weight, and resembles an adult human male, with no discernible features. SCP-14145's skin appears as a smooth, near-translucent, and featureless surface. 14145 emits a low-frequency hum, which is audible within a 10-meter radius. This humming has been shown to induce a state of disorienting euphoria and emotional fluctuations in individuals nearby, leading to prolonged exposure being harmful to individuals and potentially dangerous. It is unknown if the emitted humming originates from SCP-14145 itself, or is the result of an anomalous aura. It is also unknown if 14145 consciously produces its anomalous effects. Further research is required to ascertain the mechanisms and processes of which SCP-14145 accesses and utilizes its anomalous abilities. SCP-14145 possesses the anomalous capability to create spontaneous instances of SCP-14145/1, which are small, animated figures that vaguely resemble various known animals. These figures are composed of a material similar to that of SCP-14145's skin and are capable of independent autonomous movement. It is unknown how these instances are created, as no recorded or visual documentation of 14145/1 instances materializing exists, and no Foundation site staff or personnel have reported witnessing the materialization of 14145/1 instances. Further research and testing is required to ascertain the method in which instances of 14145/1 are brought into existence, and for what purposes. 14145/1 exhibits playful behavior and can interact with individuals, often mimicking their actions and emotions. Since its initial containment by the Foundation, 14145 has not been documented consuming sustenance of any kind. Attempts to provide SCP-14145 with varieties of food and drink yielded no result. SCP-14145 and its accompanying 14145/1 instances remained entirely uninterested in all attempted provisions provided. It is unknown if SCP-14145 or its 14145/1 instances require caloric or nutritional intake to survive. Potentialities for SCP-14145 to sustain itself and its 14145/1 instances via anomalous means has not yet been ruled out by Foundation site researchers. More study is required to explore these possibilities. Addendum 14145/Anomaly Discovery. SCP-14145 was discovered in a remote small town in Redacted, southwest of Redacted, at the border of Redacted. After reports of unusual animal sightings and a series of unexplained disappearances, Foundation agents were dispatched to investigate, leading to the discovery, capture, and subsequent containment of SCP-14145, and the retrieval of several 14145/1 instances. Witnesses and Foundation teams at the site reported feeling an overwhelming sense of euphoric and disorienting joy in the presence of SCP-14145 and its accompanying 14145/1 instances, which severely complicated the initial containment efforts. Addendum 14145/Anomaly Experiment Logs 14145/Experiment 1. Interaction Procedure. D-Class personnel were instructed to enter the containment cell and interact with SCP-14145. D-Class were instructed to observe for and verbally report any mood or emotional changes every 60 seconds via the two-way intercom system installed within the walls of SCP-14145's containment cell, while Foundation site research staff documented the interaction. Addendum 14145/Experiment Results. Approximately 22 minutes into the experiment, D-Class personnel reported feelings of euphoric happiness and a strong desire to remain in the containment cell. Exactly 22 14145/1 instances were created during the interaction, leading to rapidly increasing euphoria and disorientation among nearby personnel and staff. The experiment was terminated after 30 minutes due to concerns over long-term psychological effects. 14145/Experiment 2. Prolonged Exposure Procedure. D-Class personnel were exposed to SCP-14145 for a duration of 12 hours. Addendum 14145/Experiment 2 Results. After 1 hour, D-Class began to exhibit signs of deep attachment to SCP-14145 and SCP-14145/1 instances. Upon termination of the experiment, subjects displayed acute withdrawal symptoms, including anxiety, nausea, insomnia, and depression. Following this experiment, all interactions with SCP-14145 have been limited to controlled environments, with strict time constraints. Interaction sessions are capped at 15 minutes, and personnel are required to wear sound dampening equipment to mitigate the effects of SCP-14145's anomalous abilities. Psychological evaluations are to be conducted immediately after each session to monitor for any adverse effects. Addendum 14145/Researcher's Notes. Research notes from Dr. Redacted expressed concerns regarding the long-term psychological effects of SCP-14145 on personnel, citing, quote, "The entity's ability to induce euphoria may lead to dependence-like symptoms, as evidenced by the withdrawal reactions observed in D-Class subjects. Further research is needed to explore the potential therapeutic applications of SCP-14145's abilities, as well as the risks associated with exposure." End quote. Potential mimetic applications. Discussions have begun regarding the use of SCP-14145 in controlled therapeutic settings, particularly for individuals suffering from severe PTSD, depression or anxiety. However, ethical considerations have yet to be fully addressed, and any potential trials will require extensive oversight and protective measures. Addendum 14145/Anomalous Incident Report. On Redacted/Redacted, 2023. A containment failure and subsequent breach occurred when a power failure disabled the security systems at site. Redacted. SCP-14145 was able to escape its containment cell, leading to a facility-wide lockdown. During the breach, SCP-14145 produced an unprecedented number of 14145/1 instances, which, along with SCP-14145, began to freely roam the facility, interacting with personnel, and creating a chaotic atmosphere of joy, confusion, and disorientation. While nearly all personnel reported feelings of extreme happiness, some individuals experienced severe and dramatic emotional swings, leading to panic attacks, uncontrollable violent outbursts, and dissociation. Mobile Task Force Epsilon-9 was deployed to re-establish containment, utilizing special sound dampening equipment to minimize exposure. The entity was successfully recaptured and recontained after approximately 560 minutes, but not before numerous personnel required psychological and medical intervention. Foundation conclusion: SCP-14145 presents a unique challenge in containment. Due to its ability to induce uncontrollable changes in human emotions and behavior, and at will, create instances of 14145/1. Continued research is necessary to understand the full extent of its anomalous abilities and the psychological effects on individuals exposed to it. All personnel are advised to maintain a safe 20-meter distance and limit exposure to SCP-14145 to prevent potential psychological harm. The SCP Foundation remains committed to exploring the dual nature of SCP-14145 as both a potential therapeutic tool and a significant containment risk. Further studies will focus on the long-term effects of exposure and the implications of SCP-14145's abilities on human psychology. End of document. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this SCP story and would like to see more content like this, consider dropping a like, subscribing, or visiting the other SCP stories I've covered in the channel playlist series. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you all here again next time.